Oh, you do? Where is it?
They're amazing.
Yeah, where is it?
Have it? I do. Hang on.
And so you went to Savi's and made this lightsaber?
Yes, I did the whole thing. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
Oh, I gotta see
Yes,
it.
we are now live.
Nick,
all right,
should we save it? Should we save it?
Yeah, well, no, actually, because we geek out a little bit before the show starts while we let fans come in. So it's nice that we're live gaining followers, but normally I geek out about a tool, but since we're on this roll, Scott, I'm going to share this with you. I have an actual lightsaber.
Oh my gosh.
So yes, this is it's amazing. I can't remember which pen. It's on my desk. And it's cold. The batteries are dead, but the sound to it is so fun. Let's see. Oh yeah. So that's my geek out for the week. I am actually looking forward to finding a place to put this up in the background because it is a ton of fun. I don't know. Being a construction nerd, it was really fun to go and do the Star Wars and be around other people who are as fanatical about things. And it was very, very fun. So that's my geek out for the week. And so I guess welcome folks to Lunch on Tuesdays. My name's Kayleen McCabe. I'm host and contractor, joined as always with Scott Sheelar, who is the founder of SEFCA, which is fantastic. And Scott, you know, we've been doing this for quite a while now, and SEFCA has such a huge influence in Georgia. We're now also starting to make an imprint in other places. But how did you get started in this? How did SEFCA, which is the Career Education Foundation of Georgia, how did that come about?
Yeah, so and we're definitely going to have to talk lightsabers on a future episode, because we've also done the Savi's build, and it's amazing, especially for us construction geeks. It's so cool to go in and get all these pieces and actually piece together a lightsaber. So let's save that maybe for our next episode. I'll go down in the basement and show you some of my lightsabers. But yeah, so I thought it'd be good today to talk a little bit about how I started with SEFCA, and because we're talking with a career, advisor, career transition specialist, and I was reflecting a little bit back on how I got into this career. And I kind of, in my early days, I kind of followed the regular stream that everybody else followed, right? I thought I wanted to be a doctor, and then I thought I wanted to be a lawyer because that's what everybody wants to be, when they're growing up. And so I actually went to college and took a law class, and I absolutely hated it. I said, there is no way I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm not going to do this the rest of my life. It was all I could do to make it through one semester or whatever it was. And so I ruled that out. And then I took some science classes, and I didn't do well in science. I didn't like science, and I don't like blood and all that stuff. I don't even like the smell of hospitals. So I said I probably shouldn't be a doctor. So I kind of ruled things out as I moved along. I was a sports writer for 4 years, and I really enjoyed that. I love sports and writing and all that stuff. But I realized I kind of climbed as high as I could with the whole writing thing, and I said, I kind of reached back to my roots. And my grandfather was a residential developer down in Florida, and he actually built the house that I grew up in Florida. And so construction's in my blood. And I said, I want to work in construction. And so I actually thought I would be doing something like you, Kayleen. I thought I would be an actual builder, an actual contractor. And that was kind of the path I started down. But then a friend of mine told me about this trade association business, right? And he hired me to work with the Associated General Contractors of Georgia. They're a huge trade association. They're a national trade association. But they're big and really important here in Georgia. And I worked with them for a couple of years. And that's where I learned about this whole skilled labor shortage and the need for more people coming into our industry. And that's when I had an opportunity to spin out and get started with SEFCA and the role that I'm in. So it was kind of I think the work that, that Miss Beavers does is so important, because we have to help kids make those decisions as early as possible. Rule things in, rule things out, but at least be thinking about different careers and what you might want to do long term. And so I'm really looking forward to our conversation today and to our guest.
I am too. And Scott, that's a fascinating story. And I'm really happy you shared that, because you know, something that I wish that we would share with students more is that your first job will probably not be the one you fall in love with or make it your career. I took a very windy path to get to where I'm at now. And I took jobs because I had to eat, but then it's interesting on how sometimes these pieces all play along and then form what you want to do. But again, having the introduction into this industry sooner than later is so incredibly valuable. And it's awesome the work that SEFCA does as far as introducing that. And now, I mean, you've been spanning long enough to see that this is an evolving, morphizing, I'm just making up words today. It's an evolving issue on how do we get people into this. I mean, I graduated in the late 90s. It was still very college focused. We're now in the 2000s, 2021, and we're still kind of dealing with it. And so I'm very excited to have Brandi Beavers join us today to talk about some more information and get some stuff out there. So Scott, thanks so much for sharing your story. And you'll be sticking around, right? We will. Awesome. Oh, excellent. I cannot wait to get your thoughts on today's interview. So Scott, thank you. And we'll see you later. And awesome. See you later, Scott. And great. Brandi, thank you so much for joining us today for lunch. How are you doing today?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Get a chance to share with some of our students and families exactly the exciting things that are going on in Dekalb County School District.
Excellent. And I'm from Colorado, and so I'm happy you said DeKalb County first, because I keep wanting to say Dekalb County, and I know it's not right. So I'm very, very happy. I'll try my best with that. But your title actually is Post-Secondary Support Specialist for Dekalb County School District Region 2. But your job title is a Post-Secondary Transition Specialist. That's an awesome mouthful. I like what it sounds like. Can you please explain what that is?
Well, DeKalb County has approximately 7 regions, and so we have 7 post-secondary transition specialists located within each region. And it's our job, there's 7 of us, of course, and it's our job to go into different schools that we're assigned to and assist our students with transitioning from high school to their college or career of choice. So that's what we do, whatever that entails. Common App, Naviance, and we'll discuss that a little bit later as well, but military, gap year, workforce, career choices, all of that, whatever it takes for that students to transition from high school to their college or career of choice. So that's what we do, and I love it.
That is amazing. And what a refreshing way to really look at this. When I was in high school, it was definitely 4 years or you're a failure. If you do anything else, you're not going to make much. And, I went for a semester, dropped out. I think I'm doing okay. It took a long time for me to say I don't have any college credit because there are so many multiple pathways. And so there are multiple paths. I don't want to get confused with, education lingo, but there are lots of options to get a great career. So talk to me about, it has been for a long time and it still kind of is, the focus about a 4-year college. And it's not always the answer. In fact, now statistically, we're showing it is not 100% everybody should do this. So what do you tell students who are looking for a different option?
Well, mainly that there are options. Because like you said, there's still that notion that students must go to college. And as you stated before, the numbers are not supporting that all the time. Not that I'm saying students shouldn't go to college, because I'm my students' biggest cheerleader. So if they want to go to college, I'm all on board.
Education forever. Woohoo!
Exactly. I'm actually I'm at UGA right now, pursuing something right now. So it's always college forever. But just letting them know that there are options. Our students, when the students come to me, they are a little confused and they need a little guidance and they need a little help, a little hand holding. And that's what I'm here for. So and let's face it, in October, we have FAFSA. In November, in the state of Georgia, we have Apply to College Month. And then December, January, we kind of do instant decision days. So that's actually why I'm here, because I want to partner with agencies such as SEFCA to offer our students, career fairs, because they do come to me and there are several students, the majority of my students who are interested in, a technical college avenue or gap years or directly into the workforce, military. So I let them know mostly that there are options. You know, college is not the only answer.
Big time, you know, and it's kind of been a delicate situation to really make sure we talk about. I am not knocking college or university at all. In fact, I think we need to have more of the conversation that education, I am having a tough time with words today. Education continues for life. And it's something that, you find the ways to learn and the ways to adapt. And, you could go into a trade industry. Let's say you started as a laborer, and then later you go to a university to get a management degree, or et cetera. It continues on forever. And so mixing up the order and showing those options, that's really exciting. So in the arena of trades, there are some specific high demand career fields. Can you name a few? So for the students who are watching, like, oh, all right.
Well, definitely, there's plumbers, there's pipe fitters, there's sales reps, there's aircraft cargo, and there's, the a little more education, maybe, as far as cosmetology and makeup artistry. There's so many fields where you could become like an apprentice and learn that skills trade, and the trade-off is that you're learning their skill trades while you're helping them complete whatever project they have. So there are so many other avenues. And like you said before, earlier, it doesn't matter where you start, as long as we have a starting point. It always matters where we end up. So, whether you want to start small and build your way up and get those college credits, or whether you want to start as an apprentice and then get some more education, or maybe you're satisfied with what you're doing. Because let's face it, there are many people who make an excellent living and have no college underneath their belt. So these are all avenues and options that we have to let our students know about.
We have to, and to rewind just a little bit, when I think of the FAFSA days and the SAT push and the SAT and these testing options, I'm really excited to hear you want to talk about a career day, because the trades as a whole has not done a great job coming together and say, this is us, this is another pathway, and we do it on a unified day or a unified month. So I'm very excited about that. I'm sorry not even to ask a question. I just wanted to say that out loud. Yay!
Yay! I love you.
Well, with this partnership and everything happening, Georgia as a whole is far ahead from other states. You folks really offer a lot of option and funding. Can you share the difference between the Hope Scholarship and the Hope Career Grant? And actually, even before that, because I'm in Colorado, I am not familiar with this at all. Can you please explain Hope?
Well, the Hope program is basically, it rewards students for their hard efforts. It's based upon merit. So many of my students, of course, are familiar with the Hope Scholarship program. And in order to obtain the Hope Scholarship program, you have to have a Hope GPA of 3.0, plus some other things such as rigors, but I'm basically going to focus on the GPA right now. So in order to get the Hope Scholarship and use it at a college or university that participates in the Hope program, you must have a Hope GPA of 3.0, right? Okay. What my students don't know is that there's also the Hope Career Grant, okay? So if you're using a grant, you only need a Hope GPA of 2.0. And you can use those funds for the Hope program at a technical college or some type of career. And many of my students aren't aware of this program, and it does the same thing. It pays a portion of your tuition depending on where you go, a high percentage of your tuition. Wow. But if you're pursuing an associate's or a bachelor's, you're going to use the Hope Scholarship program, anything that ends in a degree. But if you're searching for a certificate or a diploma, those programs, 3 months, 6 months, 18 months, you can actually use the Hope Career Grant. And like I said, with only a Hope GPA of 2.0.
That is amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Okay. Well, here's kind of the tough thing that I don't think is discussed enough is a lot of people who are fantastic in the trades. And in the trades, I do math all day long. I look at math on a piece of paper. I do it in my head. I translate it through my hands. And then I put things together that you live in. Was I the best test taker in math? No, and did I understand that a squared plus b squared equals c squared with the Pythagorean theorem, and that's how I get a wall squared up? No. And so maybe these people who are so gifted and talented and need to work in this industry might not be the best test takers. Does not mean that they're dumb at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so opening up that is fantastic. Okay, so where can we find information? Can you give me a website or to direct people to?
For Dekalb County School District?
Yes.
Oh, you mean the whole GPA? I'm sorry.
Oh,
that would be
yes.
GA Futures for our students. Okay, so that is gafutures.org.
All right.
And that's for the state of Georgia, our state of Georgia students. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
And if you're my student, you should know that website by now.
Or else we'll be chatting.
Or let's come talk to Ms. Beavers.
Well, we think about these options and opportunities. So when should a student start their career exploration?
Well, Kayleen, as you know, there are some students who start, middle school and they come to me and they have all of these demographics and this is what I want to do, Ms. Beavers, and yay me. And of course, I love them. And even those students, I'll sit down and we'll still explore. But for me, working with the high schoolers and being based in the, my 3 high schools within DeKalb County, I typically work with my students starting in 11th grade and really concentrate on my seniors. So, and I'll explore a little bit more what I do with them with you in a minute here. But basically 11th, 12th graders, we need to start, if you haven't, don't have any kind of idea, we need to start discussing things. Definitely come see Ms. Beavers or one of your post-secondary transition specialists.
Yes, big time, because it's critical. It's, in my opinion, never too early. I wish that we could play with blocks and then just roll with it forever. But, getting those last few years in and having the chance to talk to a specialist like you, I'm jealous. Why isn't there a teleportation machine and I could have talked to you when I was in high school? I'd be like, oh, all right.
Even for myself, listen, why didn't I have me when I don't know what just happened. I do apologize. There we go.
No worries at all. Well, it is like we wish we could rewind time, but since we can't, one thing we can do is talk to the parents. And I think I've kind of figured it out, or at least this is my working theory, because I've been at this for a little over 10 years. And so it's always like, all right, who are the gatekeepers and why don't they want to open the doors? I'm starting to think that parents think that if they don't encourage a college only path or their kid doesn't go, that they are a failure. Mm-hmm. And so I mean, that's my opinion on it, but how are you talking to parents about the successful career opportunities for their students in these fields?
Well, mainly, I welcome my parents. When I'm having a one-on-one session with my students or having an event, I welcome my parents to come, because let's face it, at the end of the day, these career choices are a family decision for many of our households. So I welcome our parents to attend, but we have a college and career platform within DeKalb County, and the district basically provides access to our parents as well as our students. So the parents have access to our students' accounts for their college and career platform, but they can't make any changes. They just can review. So I cannot tell you the number of parents that call me or text me or email me and say, I didn't even know my son was interested in welding. He's never expressed that. I didn't know that he wanted to be a pipe fitter. So definitely, I encourage our parents to get involved. I provide them with their just this morning alone, maybe about 3 parents have already gotten in touch with me wanting we use a platform called Naviance College and Career Platform. And they want their access, their code, their registration code, just to see what their students are doing, also to play around with the college and career platform, because there's so much information in there. So I definitely encourage our parents, because as you said, they are the gatekeepers, and who knows their child better than the parent to give me some type of insight. So help me help your child. So, and that's what we do. And it's a collaboration. The students work with me. I work with the students, the parents. And I had a parent that come up to me and said, Ms. Beavers, my student is a senior now. And I heard you speak when they were a freshman, and I still have your information that you gave me. And he showed it to me. I'm like, wow. So 4 years later, so definitely involve the parents, because as you said, they are gatekeepers and they do help our students so much.
Yes, big time. And I'm impressed with the level of communication that you're providing. There are so many opportunities now in the construction field. If you have a child who is a leader, who is maybe outspoken, who likes to be outdoors, come play in construction.
Exactly.
You might fit in really well.
See, what I haven't shared with you is that I'm a DIYer myself. I used to be a geologist, so I love being outside, and I love if all my friends and family who are watching, yeah, they know if there's something to be done in my household, I'm going to try it first. So definitely I support those students 100%. I'll even show them, look what Miss Beavers did. And they're like, you did that, Miss Beavers. So I know that that's a great way and quality of life. So I definitely share that with my students.
It's so smart because you're making better consumers in the long run. This is not just a career path. But right now, speaking of the communication that you provide to your students and families, will you please explain to me the Navient site? This is really exciting because especially in the time of COVID, trying to find out, making sure the communication level is kept high. Talk to me about what this site is and what kind of support it provides for folks right now.
Well, this is called our Navient Student College and Career Readiness Platform. And basically, this is something that the district provides to all of our high school students, 9th through 12th graders. So right now, I'm concentrating on careers for our students. So we would go to careers, and then we would go to explore careers. This is just a student who has no idea what they want to do. We need to explore their interests, right?
Sure.
So they'll land on this page once they land and we get into careers. And then I'm going to ask them just to go to Career Cluster Finder. Or as you just saw, they can actually look up a career if they have an idea in their head what they want to look at. But basically, this is where I start, and we'll start at step 1, and we'll do some activities. We'll go over their personal qualities, school subjects, and we'll click start. That's simple for our students. And they're just going to click. Tell me, what do you like to do? What are your activities? Do you like to hunt or fish? Do you like to protect the environment? Did you like to plan or budget? All of these options, and they're just going to click whatever applies to them. This is just learning who they are, because we want these students to have a career and not a job, no matter where their platformers are, right? No matter where they land. So this is what we're doing. We're just learning a little bit about ourselves here.
This is very exciting. You're going to get a new student from Mitch, who's running this.
Thanks, Mitch.
Well, I think it's really important because some of these questions do highlight it's changing the concept of what it means to work in this industry. Like, then think about that. If I like to do these things, maybe I would be a good fit in this industry. And also highlighting the fact that you could start off as a laborer and then someday be a foreman or own the company or do management or who knows.
Branch out and start your own company after you learn,
Yes. Well, and kind of starting off at that lower level does help you build a resume. I talk to students often about when you start up in this industry, any industry, I was a 911 dispatcher for a long time, start off at the bottom. Because as you work your way up and you're promoted, when you get to the top, you're going to be really good at management because you're going to know how all the other jobs work around you. So with that, is there assistance on here for helping students build out their resume?
Oh, definitely. Within Naviance, we actually have a resume option. So again, it's click, click, click. But we'll put in what our objective is, and then we'll build on that resume. And also, I do want to circle back here. DeKalb County has what they call tasks that they give out each grade level. And one of the many tasks is to build a resume. So we may build a resume in 9th grade and may not have that very much on it. But by the time we get to a senior and we need that actual resume, because these are very nice resumes. By the time we're a senior and we have some experience, we worked at the local eatery, or maybe we helped dad with some pipe fitting, who knows? We have things to put on this resume, and we could actually use this. This is something that they can use in the workforce. So definitely a wonderful, let's see, this is also, we do things for college, but I can't see everything because of my screen, but you would go under, I think it's under my planner or about me, one of those. Go to about me, it may have the resume builder on there. Go to my stuff, there it is. That's the resume. So we could actually, you would click the magenta plus button. and we would put in our objective. And that's all. And when we're done, we just complete it, and it will build you a very nice resume for our students, and you can print and export it as well.
Wow, that's a legit asset that your students need. I recently, when COVID hit, I had the opportunity to apply to be a teacher, and I was asked for my resume, and it was like, oh wow, you know, being a TV host, and I was a magician. I have all sorts of weird jobs. So
did you say magician? Wonderful.
Oh my God, I was a mad scientist too. I used to go into elementary schools and do science.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's been a fun journey. But what I wish is that when I was back in high school, there was some sort of coherent program like this, you know, and that realization that it's not, if you don't go, you're going to jump off a cliff and never have anything or opportunities. These resources are amazing. Now, can you share the website for Naviance, or is that sort of an in-house a program for your students and families?
Well, just all districts probably have some type of college and career platform, but for DeKalb County, we do use Naviance, as I said, and the students would basically just go to naviance.com and within my district and log in with their Clever ID. And for my students, they know exactly what I'm referring to. But like I said, all districts have some type of college and career readiness platform. And I encourage all students across the state, or all students who are listening, please learn what that resource is, because as you stated, it's so important that we take advantage of these resources now that they are offered to us.
Yes, big time. And Brandi, this has been fantastic. And speaking of resources, I'm really happy, Scott, you joined us again, because you know, we started off this conversation talking about students being, you know, the FAFSA and all these things. And so I love the idea of a partnership with a career fair and opportunities. But Scott, what did you think about the interview today?
Yeah, I really enjoyed Ms. Beaver's comments. I learned about a new resource in Naviance. I wasn't familiar with that resource. But one of the things she said that really caught my attention was the importance of parents. And, you know, in addition to running SEFCA, Kayleen, you know, I'm a parent as well. I have a 10-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. And, you know, but they're totally different. And I know that because I pay close attention to what they enjoy doing, right? And so Sophie loves to build and create things. And Kayleen, lately, she's been getting into sewing. She loves working with fabrics and stuff. And so I think as parents, it's important for us to pay close attention to that, because then that'll help us direct them, you know, on the right path for them where they're going to excel. So I just know personally that works. They're still very young. They're obviously not in careers yet, but I have a pretty good idea of where they can thrive and where they can really, you know, be happy in their career, just based on what they enjoy doing now. And so you're exactly right, Ms. Beavers. We really, as parents, we need to pay, you know, in addition to watching their grades and making sure that they're doing well in math and English and all these academic subjects, you have to look at the bigger picture and figure out what is it that they really enjoy doing? What do they do when they have free time? You know, what do they sit down and do? And I know that pretty well for my son and daughter, so.
Yes, this was absolutely fantastic. And Ms. Beavers, thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah, the information was great. And I hope that all the parents and students reach out and chat with you in the very near future and ask lots and lots of questions. And we're able to chat again. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. You guys have a great day.
Thanks, you
Beavers,
too.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Sure. For our fans still hanging on, please join us next week, where we will be joined by Angela Sparks from Marietta High School. And we're going to be talking about youth apprenticeships. And so if you have any questions, please always feel free to text a career path to 31996, where we can answer any of your questions. And everyone have a great afternoon. Thank you, Kayleen. Have a good one. Thanks, you too. Oh. May the force be with you. We'll talk more next week. Yeah, it sounds awesome. All right. Bye, friends. Bye, Kayleen.